As we approach Rosh Hashana, it is normal to contemplate the year that has passed. And while we have many things to be grateful for, and there are many things that we recognize the tremendous chesed of Hashem, there are some of the things that have taken place this past year that are terrifying as well. And I find that I experience a number of emotions as I think about it. And as I keep going back and forth between these different thoughts and the different emotions that occur, I realize that they coincide with the concepts of tefillah that we say by Musaf of Malchus, Zechronius, and Shofris. And therefore I thought it was important to share, so we are able to gain an insight into these tefillahs that we may not have had before. The events that I am referring to is that last year we had made Aliyah not long before Rosh Hashana, and Baruch Hashem, we are tremendously grateful for Hashem that we are able to do so. However, a number of days later, on Erev Yom Kippur, after taking Simcha Dov to Shlok HaParos, that we needed to go to the hospital, and Simcha Dov had to get his trach. And at that moment, he lost his final ability to talk. And it really was an indication of the final blow that we have continued to experience this entire year, with him losing his ability of any form to communicate and becoming locked in his body. Furthermore, last year I was fully employed and I had a salary that we could rely on, and this year I find myself without employment and only a couple of possible leads for the future. In contemplation, it's a little terrifying to realize that last year, Rosh Hashanah, these events were decreed along with all of the good things. And it was determined that we would have to experience all that we had. And that makes it quite intimidating for us to proceed into this upcoming Rosh Hashanah, not knowing what are going to be the decrees that will be challenging for us, in addition to the decrees that will make us very happy. And I realize that perhaps that's the concept of Malchus that we talk about in Musaf. That Hashem is the Melech and He decrees, and there will be decrees that will be very challenging. But that's what the decree of the king was. And therefore we need to do our best to be able to improve ourselves and to do tshuva and to whatever we can, that the decree should be only l'tova. But then I think, and I say to myself, everything that we are experiencing though is not forgotten. Hashem will give us reward for what we have experienced. Or there's a reason why we needed to have it, for one reason or another. And I realize that that's similar to Zechronius. Hashem is Zeicha, is Kol HaNeshkachos. There's nothing that's forgotten, there's nothing that's not important or for a reason. And with that, I am somewhat mollified in my emotions to recognize that Hashem has a reason, and it will be recognized and rewarded and for a purpose. And then I shift yet further and I say, I trust Hashem. Hashem has done everything for us, runs the world, and is obviously greater than we can understand. And I can let go of all of those feelings and anxieties and fears because Hashem has a reason. And I'm able to let go. And I'm able to surrender to His will. And in that I release a shofar, as we blow a shofar. And as Avram Avinu was able to take his son Yitzchak to the Akedah, which went against everything he believed in, but he did it without asking questions. There's a concept of surrendering and letting Hashem run the world, and I don't need to know why, but I'm able to trust that there is a reason and a purpose. So besides the fact that I now have this new connection or understanding into those three types of tefillahs, I also, as I find myself shifting between them, recognize the mile of each one. The emotion of Malchus motivates a person to change, to look at himself and try and make himself better. But it could also be crippling and make one freeze. And therefore, Zechronos helps as we're able to then say, okay, there's a reason for it. And there'll be a schar and there's a cheshbon, and I don't have to worry about that is for nothing. But perhaps the most soothing and uplifting is that of shofars, and that I'm able to surrender to Hashem. And I'm able to experience a calm and a peace, even though I don't understand. But the danger of just shofars is that I might become complacent and not motivated to change. And therefore I think that there is a beautiful blend between those different tefillos and those different midos that we can experience as we have in our lives and feel them and become uplifted by them as well as motivated. So I wish you all may we all be zoichet to have a malchios and be nichtav the sefer of slichu, mechila, and kapora, and to be able to have a year of refuos and yeshuos and be written the sefer of Chaim Tovim Baruchim. And as we know that whatever Hashem decrees, it will be for a cheshbon and there will be a reason, and there's a purpose and a reward for everything. But ultimately, it's about accepting Hashem as our King and letting go of the need to be able to determine and understand everything that's happening, because we know that our Father has our best interest in mind and has the ability to be able to do what's exactly right for each of us. Wish you all ksiva tova and a good Kodesh Yor, Shana Tova and Sukkah, and may we all be written in all of the Svarim the Tova.